Mindset and success. Now, you all know that spiritually there are certain things that just fascinate me. And, some of it is how to become who you're meant to be, but also it's mindset. And I was thinking about mindset because I'm a golfer. And so the Masters is coming up this weekend, and we were talking about the Masters. And I was reading about Jordan Spieth. And now think about Jordan Spieth. And if you're not a big golfer, Jordan Spieth is probably 24, 25 now. When he first came on the scene, I feel like he was 19, 20. He was a young pup. But he lit the world on fire. He won major after major. He was winning every tournament he entered into. And then all of a sudden, he crashed and burned. He has not won anything for a couple of years. And in fact, going into the Masters, which the past 5 years, I believe, he's been in a top 10 in the past 5 years, 4 years in a row, or four years. And yet there's no mention of him. There's no interviews for him. Instead, people should ask why, what happened? And you put, now that's, looking at people that have been very successful. But then, when we first started this association, things were going really well for us with the new kids on the block. Everything was going well. Everybody was joining. Everybody wanted to be a sponsor. And then a corresponding association hired this other woman. She was very articulate. She was a lobbyist. She had been in the association world. She was well known. And when she started, it kind of caused me to shrink because of mindset, because it was like, how can I compete with her? Because she's, everybody knows her, and she's a lobbyist, and she does all this great stuff. Now, you can look at the two different causes. You have Jordan Spieth over here doing really, really well, and all of a sudden he crashes and burns, and myself building an association crashes and burns. Because it's mindset. And people think when your mindset changes, it's this big thing happens, this big event, and you crash and burn. And I listen to TV shows talking about Jordan Spieth, and it's like, well, why do you think he crashed and burned? And they'll go through all this stuff when it could have just been something as easy as somebody made a comment to him. Or maybe he was sitting there one day after he won the British Open. It was an incredible tournament. He hit the ball so far out of bounds, it was ridiculous. He hit a great shot in, and he ended up winning the tournament. He could have gone home that night and sat there and thought, I really got away with something. That was an amazing shot. I pulled that out of my butt. How did I do it? And then his next thought could have been, but did I deserve to win? Or who am I to do all this winning? Or do I deserve to be this rich? It's just one thought. That's what changes people's trajectory in their life. And I watch it happen over and over. I see these women that aren't all that successful. They're doing okay, but they're not great. And then they run into that person that tells them, you can be awesome. You can do whatever you want to do if you believe in yourself, because I believe in you. And I'll watch them just take off. It's like a rocket ship to the moon. But conversely, I've seen people that are, big shining stars, and they're, luminaries in their field, and they're highly respected, and then bam, they crash and burn. It's that self-talk. It's what you're saying. It's how you think. And it's your belief system. Everything begins and ends with your belief system. You could be, a great softball player. Homage to Mariah out there, who's a great softball player. You could be a great softball player. And you played, not Little League for girls, but we're going to have girls in Little League now. And, you played in all these leagues. And all of a sudden you get to high school or college and you tank. And you don't do that well. It could be because you walked onto the field in college and you looked over there and there was this girl that was an amazing pitcher. And you thought, I'll never match up to her. And you shrink. Because we compare ourselves to other people instead of comparing ourselves to ourselves. Instead of having our own, boundary, our own lines in the sand of where we're going to be successful. But instead we look over and say, well, I can't be as good as her. I golf with somebody that's a 2 handicap, a 2. I'm a 19 on my best day. I will never be as good as her, not because I won't be as good as golfer, because I won't put that time into it. I could look at, Mariah, who's a great softball outfielder and a great coach. I will never be a great softball coach player because 1, I won't put the time into it, and 2, I'm not athletic. It's not what drives me. Now, could I smoke her on a racquetball court? Yeah, I think so. but could I smoke her on a softball? No, because I have that mindset. I'm cocky on a racquetball court, not so much on a softball court. But it's what you're telling yourself. It's how you're expanding your universe, because we live in an infinite universe. People think this is a finite universe. It's not. Now, it's finite in math. 2 plus 2 is 4. That's finite. Do you have unlimited abundance in the universe? Infinite. You can only, toilet paper during a pandemic. Finite. Can you produce as much toilet paper as you want? Possibly infinite. Finite and infinite are human issues. Humans make things finite. Humans produce gas at either at $1.23 or at $3. But the universe produces everything in abundance. And everybody has that spark, that light in them, telling them this is who you're meant to be. You know who you're meant to be, because when you're in your zone, when you're doing what you love to do, it's easy. It's infinite. But because we're raised with a finite mindset, it's hard for us to see infinite. And when you look at a Jordan Spieth, or somebody else doing really well, they're infinite until all of a sudden they become finite. And I would argue with Jordan. I would love to sit down and talk to him to find out that one comment somebody made. Or it could have been him that when he turned 22, 23, he thought, I'm getting older, success doesn't come as easy to me. Who knows? Who knows what flips that switch? But whenever you look at somebody and you think they were like doing really well and then they stopped, it's a mindset. It's true. It's truly a mindset. Why do people have heart attacks, and some people you never knew they had a heart attack, and other people it goes on forever? It's mindset. It really is your view of the world. Do you view the world as safe, or do you view it as fearful? Do you view this pandemic as never going to go away and we're going to forever wear masks and we're going to forever live with this over us? Or do you think that the pandemic is going to go away by April 20th, our annual conference? I think it's going to go away by our annual conference, although I thought that last year too. I want people to understand that each one of us has a spark. Picture a blue rose within you. And this blue rose is just waiting to open. It's waiting to help you find your enlightenment. It's waiting for you to become enchanted with yourself and to take that chance on your next adventure. Because when one adventure ends, another adventure begins. Because we're infinite. If you can hit the ball 300, I think there's a 300 batting average. Yes. And I think only like 4 or 5 people hit at 400. It's because they made that 400 seem so hard to do. It was back, the 4-minute mile. Everybody thought if you ran a 4-minute mile, you'd die, until Roger Bannister did it. And then I think a month later, 300 people did it because it was gone. I bet if somebody went and told everybody, if you bought this baseball bat, you could bat 400. I bet you everybody'd start batting 400. Mindset. If you don't have what you want, look how you think. If you want things to be different, look how you think. And sit down and reprogram your mind. If you're kind of a negative thinker, and negative thinking, a lot of people think negative thinking is like Eeyore, but it really isn't. Negative thinking is just, I've always been this way. I'm not smart like those people. I'm never going to be this great lobbyist, or I'm never going to be this great whatever, fill in the blank, because it's mindset. But if you woke up this morning, you thought, what, damn it, I'm going to write the best book ever. I am going to give the biggest speech ever. I'm going to sell the most widgets ever. I'm going to, do XYZ in XYZ time. And you set your mind to it, and you tell your mind every day you can accomplish this, then you'll accomplish it. And I know some of you are watching us saying, sure, Karen, you make it sound easy. It is that easy. The hard part is your belief system. It's changing those beliefs. It's changing what you were taught as a child. And if you were raised that, money doesn't grow on trees, or only certain people can make money. In order to make money, you have to have a college degree. In order to make money, you had to go to a Yale, a Harvard, I can't think what we call them, but those type of colleges. In order to do X, Y, and Z, you had to do that. And that's not true at all. In order to do what you want to do, you have to have the mindset to do it. Now, it's always going to be somebody out there saying, well, you know, when I play basketball like LeBron, but I'm 5'4". Doesn't mean you can't play basketball like LeBron. You may not just be able to play in the NBA. And sometimes you're sabotaging yourself. But, I mean, look at Spud Webb. He was what? I don't know, 5'11"? He was a little guy. He played in the NBA because he had the guts and the heart to keep going. You have to have the heart. You have to have the mindset, you have to have the heart, and you have to have the conviction. If you put those three things together, you will be unstoppable. So when if you watch the Masters over the weekend, and you look at Jordan Spieth and hear them say what happened to him, only he can answer that question, but it's mindset. And he may not be able to answer that question because he doesn't realize he did it to himself. A lot of times when we sabotage ourselves, we don't even realize it was us. Or it could be a comment somebody casually made as you were walking by. And it caused you to kind of hear it, but you integrated it. And into your mind took it and went, okay, you know, your mind's a computer program. She's not worthy. That goes over here in this box. You open up the box. There's all you're not worthies. Add one more to the pile, and now you're not worthy. Work on your mindset. Decide what you want in life and go all in on it. Take a chance. You know, I was talking to somebody, a client over the weekend, and she has always wanted to go back to school. And I said, okay, how long is it going to take you to get your degree? And she said, well, you know, between family and work and everything, she said, you know, 5 years. I said, okay, so 2025, 2026. She goes, yeah, that's what I project. She goes, but, you know, that's a long time. And she went through all this stuff, and I looked at her and I said, I can promise you that 25 is coming. And you will be sitting here 5 years from now, and it'll be 2025. You'll either have your degree or you won't. It's not like 2025 is an elusive number. It's always going to show up. You know, people that tell me I want to lose weight, okay, lose weight. Because tomorrow is going to show up. 6 months from now is going to happen. It's where will you be in 6 months? Where will you be? And, you know, when we're sitting here in, you know, 2021, wrapping up the year, what will be your accomplishments? Because it comes. What it depends on is who you're going to be at that moment. What kind of mindset are you going to have? And an infinite mindset is much better than a finite mindset. So I hope this helped you guys. If you're on my YouTube channel, give me a subscribe. If you're looking to start your own online business, check out my website, Online Business. And if you just kind of want some coaching, some spiritual coaching, I'm back into spiritual coaching. We'll talk about spirituality and me. Whew, we're going to talk about a mindset. Yikes. Probably another video when I get it all figured out in my head. But if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Here's to igniting your possibilities and finding your blue rose. Bye, guys.